Today is Monday. It is Monday morning. Good morning, Soil family. I hope y'all had an amazing weekend. We had a really good weekend. Weather is beautiful. Both Bobby and I were able to get outside. I got out a little bit. He got out a whole lot because there's a lot to do out there. But pick at it a little bit as you go to get ready for gardening season 2025. I mean, what more can we do? If you are catching a replay, hashtag replay. Today we are going to talk about high blood pressure and how we both, my husband and I, reversed or healed ourselves naturally from high blood pressure. I'll give y'all a few minutes to come in. As you come in, if you can be so kind to hit that thumbs up for us. You can hear the children a little bit in the background. Everybody got a bone. Good morning, fam. Peace, family. Everybody got a big bone, and they enjoying the big bone. So as you come in, let us know, what's your weather like? I know we are all over the place, and it's nice to know, what your weather is like. We sometimes forget to even mention that here at Black's Tropical, we are a community type of homestead. We love to get to know each other and to know each other. Cold and damp, Rambo Greenhand said. And sometimes it's nice to know that people are in the same grow zone as you, or in the same state as you, or different things like that. If you have a channel, you can always drop SoilFamily, one word. It should be working. And Nightbot will drop your channel so people can come and check you out. If you have questions. Pleasant in Maryland, good. 34 in New York City. 41 in Columbus, Georgia. I forgot what I was gonna say. But anyhow, you can type SoilFamily in the chat. One word. Nightbot should drop your channel. I was gonna say that we don't mind y'all asking questions and talking to each other and answering questions when you see them, if you can help somebody. That is the beauty in community, and how bad do we need community more now than ever. So definitely get to know each other, and we are all family here. We are all Soil family. So you see that? Soil family, please check out Laura's Garden and more. Thank you. And then it dropped her link. So sometimes it may not drop it when you type Soil family. It means that too many people are dropping it at one time. So give it a few minutes and he'll usually spit it right out. Nightbot is our virtual assistant. He usually do pretty good at helping y'all out and dropping links. You can also type joke in the chat, JOKE, and Nightbot will drop probably a corny dad joke. That's what he used to do. So we'll see if he upgraded his joking skills for 2025. So, high blood pressure. Again, if you can be so kind and hit that thumbs up for us, we'd appreciate that, and we're going to jump right into this conversation. High blood pressure is probably something that most people, good morning, Mary, most people deal with some way, form, or fashion. It may not be you directly, or it could be your loved ones. Oh, maybe I turned joke off. It said remote server return code. So I need to check into that. Booty, please. You and that bone. I can remember in my early 20s when I first was diagnosed with high blood pressure. And I assumed it was just hereditary because my father passed away at 52 from high blood pressure. He had a massive heart attack. So I just automatically assumed, okay, hey, Byron, good morning. I got it from my dad, and it's okay. What am I gonna do once? What happened was I kept catching headaches. My head would hurt so bad to where my nose, they can't help it. Mother and daughter. Nala and Trudy, chill. My head would hurt so bad, my nose would bleed. So I went to the hospital and they diagnosed me. Let me tell y'all, Hey, Fresh and Fire, they never do this until we hit go live. Hey, come here. No. And then they'll all stop and look like, who's you talking to? Me? No, she ain't talking to me. Um, I went to the hospital. They diagnosed me with high blood pressure. That was my early 20s. I struggled with that for 20 something years. And it's been crazy. It like I would go to the doctor and they would say, okay, Lily, I'll show them shortly. And they would say, oh, you got to lose weight. Oh, you got to cut out on the salt. Oh, you got to do this. You got to do that. And it seemed like everything I did was just like, no, you got to have blood pressure. So sometimes high blood pressure can be hereditary. There is, when it's hereditary, it's hard. It's a hard fight. But we are in Savannah, Georgia. It's a hard fight when it's hereditary because it's basically just naturally in your blood. But you can do things to make it not so bad. And we don't want it to stay elevated for a long time and just say, hey, always Fresh and Fire, always. Vegas, baby. We went to Vegas a couple years ago. So I went years taking blood pressure medicine, and they kept upping my medicine and adding something to it and up this, and finally they got to the point where they were like, look, we're going to have to figure something else out. Are you using salt? And I'm like, no, I don't use salt. We 3 different blood pressure meds, they were all maxed out. And I just figured, this is life. Because I didn't have the knowledge of herbs that I do have now. So fast forward 20 something years, and one day I woke up and I said, so you got your iron corn coming today? Good. All you had to do was change it. No, Thomas, no. Natural greens and fruits and vegetables, sea moss, nah. That's not all I had to do. When I say I've tried everything, I went keto. I eat a lot of vegetables. I love salads, broccoli. I can eat that every single day. I will bake fish, eat salads, no salt at all. My blood pressure stayed high. I was on 3 different blood pressure meds. I did this for years. And then finally, here recently, we've been homesteading the last 3 years. I decided one morning, I woke up and I said, I ain't taking this medicine. I'm not taking this medicine. I'm going to trust God and see what I can do for myself to heal myself, because I'm tired of these doctors just pushing meds, pushing synthetics. So I sat up on side of the bed and I said, all right, God, what we gonna do this. I trust you 100%. And if I can be dedicated to taking these pills every single day, I can do this to your medicine. I can do this for your medicine, which are herbs. So I started taking cayenne pepper. And what we do with the cayenne, we grow our own cayenne, of course. I take a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne powder. You can dehydrate them. You can set them out, just let them dry. And we put them in a coffee grinder and powder them. We take 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne powder to a little bit of water every day. Cayenne is great for high blood pressure and so many other things. Good morning, Kelly. So, started the cayenne and a little bit of beet juice. I don't like beets. So when I say I talked to God a whole lot this one morning, because I don't like hot stuff, and I kept saying, I don't like hot stuff, so how are we going to do this? What are we going to do? I took the cayenne, and it wasn't bad. I was like, oh, okay, I can do that. Now, when it came to the beet juice, I have to have a real good sit-down with myself to say, you're not doing this for the taste, per se. You are doing this for the benefits, and this is a plant God provided for you to stay well. So suck it up and drink it. So I drank those 2 ounces and I said, okay. Adding salt. Now they'll tell you to, when they when they diagnose you with high blood pressure, they'll tell you to beet greens. Oh, let me tell you, I can eat some beet greens. We grew beets for the first time, and I was eating all the greens, and I kept saying, "Don't eat all the greens off the top. Let them things grow." So they will tell you to no salt, but we need salt. Our body naturally needs salt. Now, not all salt is created equal, so they should educate us when they tell us no salt. They should educate us on um, what to do when it comes to salt. Now, there are healthier salts that we can use, that we should use, that are loaded with the magnesium and the potassium that we need. So we use Redmond real salt. And you'll see, hey, G Mama Grows, you'll see Nightbot, you'll see that link rolling if you want to check out Redmond. That salt, we have visited Utah and toured their mines to see how they process and where they get their salt from. And let me tell y'all, that place is just amazing. That is the salt that we need. And what we do is we take a little bit of this salt and put it in our drinks. When we drink our water, we sprinkle a little bit in our water. I got a little bit in my tea this morning just so I can know I got it in. But the body needs salt. It just doesn't need that Morton's and all these other seasonings. So you can see back here on the back of my stove, I have all my seasonings. So I threw away all our seasonings, which I was telling my sister-in-law the other day. I said, at first I was like, man, that's a lot of money. I'm throwing away all this stuff because of the anti-caking agents and the okay, Nivea, I'm gonna look for your question. And the anti-caking agents and all the extra preservatives and chemicals they put in these seasonings. So I just said, throw them away. You grow all these herbs, learn to powder them and make your own. And we were already doing that with turmeric and garlic and onions, but like all these other things like lemon and pepper and all this other stuff we grow, we gotta stop. So I just threw it away. I said, stop looking at I'm throwing away money, because if I keep going back to these herbs and certain ingredients, I'm throwing away our lives. And we're not just talking about my life, we talk about my husband too. And what we didn't want was my husband to one day end up with high blood pressure. So, and we know that life itself can raise our blood pressure. You know, stress, just everyday living can raise your blood pressure. But then we don't think about the foods other than something like salt. It's like with diabetes. People always say with diabetes, here comes sugar. We got to stop looking at it that way. So with high blood pressure, we got to stop looking at, oh, it's just the salt. We got to look at our food, period. The chemicals, the preservatives, all that funky junk they put in our foods, our personal care, hygiene products, our cleaning products, all of that stuff aid in why our blood pressure can be so high. So when we learn how to feed our body, now let me tell you, me taking 3 different blood pressure medicines every day, eating pretty decent, we depended on the store for a long time, my blood pressure stayed high. When I stopped all of my blood pressure medicine, trusted God 100%, and we lean more so on the plants and herbs that we grow, my blood pressure was a whole lot better. I stopped my medicine and started my cayenne beet juice. We make tea blends, so I'll drink hibiscus. My husband loves hibiscus, with hawthorn berry and cayenne pepper in it. So we'll drink teas and do different things. I went to the doctor 3 weeks later, and she said, man, I'm going to have to back you off some of your blood pressure medicine because your blood pressure is great this morning. And I said, and you know how when you go in, they ask you all these questions. Do you take this? Do you take that? And I was on hydrochlorothiazide, amlodipine, and all it. And I was like, yeah, I take it. I take it. So when the doctor said your blood pressure is good, I told her, she said, I'm gonna back you off some of your meds. I said, I don't even take those meds. She said, what? I said, I stopped taking them. And my doctor follow us on Facebook, so she knows. And she purchased our products. She said, so when did you stop taking your meds? So I pull out my phone to see how long it had been, because I really didn't remember off top. Pull out my phone, look, and I said, 21 days. Today marked 21 days, no medicine, and my blood pressure was perfect. She said, I'm just going to take you off all these meds. Because if you're not taking them, your blood pressure is this good. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I said, okay. And I kept doing it. Fast forward to a few months ago, I think that was in September. My husband never had high blood pressure issues or anything. And here we have changed our diet because we grow and raise majority of our food. We do leave a certain amount to enjoy life. We go out to eat. We travel a lot, doing things like that. We have SoilFamily Expo coming up. We enjoy ourselves that weekend. We are not so strict, even though we pass out a whole lot of Redmond's real salt for all the salty people. But we pretty much stick to a strict, clean diet. A lot of things homemade, everything. We are firm believers that if you can buy it from the store, you can make it at home. So much better. So we homemade things. Well, one day my husband went to the doctor, and he called and said, my blood pressure is very high. And I was like, man, that's kind of weird. But I was like, okay. Because I already knew, what he needed to do. So I said, okay. And then he texted again and said, wait a minute, my blood sugar is like crazy high. And I'm like, okay. I said, okay. So when he came home, we sat down and we talked. First, he started his cayenne, beet juice regimen, beets, cayenne, and he, again, love hibiscus. So that's not a problem with him. So I told him, I said, well, let's go back to the doctor the next day because I was concerned with his blood pressure and blood sugar being so high. I was concerned. So I said, well, let's go so we can get a deeper check in this. Now, I always tell people, go to the doctor. If y'all can double tap that screen for us to give us some reaction, we'd appreciate that. I'm a firm believer in going to the doctor and seeing about yourself. But then I say when you come home, do your own research because we are self-healers. The body can heal itself long as you give it the right condition. We thought we were giving the body the right condition. Our grocery bill is pretty small. I think maybe $200 a month at the most. But there were still things we were depending on from the store. So we went to the doctor the next day. And they said, well, his blood pressure isn't high at all. His blood pressure is good. So we knew right then it was pretty much the cayenne and the salt and the beets that got his blood pressure back normal. But his blood sugar levels were high. So they put him on metformin, of course, which I think he still got that bottle. Maybe, he threw it in the trash. But he lost the bottle. They put him on metformin in September. I think that was September. They put him on metformin. Anyway, the bottle disappeared for like months, and we couldn't find it. And we traveled somewhere and ended up putting it in the car and losing it in the car and just couldn't remember. But he never took the medicine. What he did, it's just cayenne pepper. And it gotta be cayenne, like it's not ghost pepper or Carolina Reaper or paprika. It's cayenne pepper. We came home, we sat down and we talked, and I told him, I said, well, I think my husband is a bodybuilder or he a gym rat, and I said, well, I've done some research into carnivore. people respond really, really good to carnivore. I said, I think you should do carnivore because he loved meat. So, where can we find cayenne pepper? I would check Baker Creek. Sometimes you can find cayenne plants in your big box store, but I would definitely check Baker Creek. You want to get those seeds started now. Um, so we now because this is my husband's fight with diabetes, I don't feel like that's his fight. I'll cook whatever he need or whatever. That's his fight. No, I feel like so I use a little shot glass and I put a quarter teaspoon of cayenne powder and a little bit of water, and then I drink my beet juice behind it. You can use honey. You can mix your beet juice with your cayenne, however you need to get it, and you can do that 3 times a day. Cayenne is a healer, even if you have ulcers. Andale Homestead can tell y'all that story. I'll be live with her tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll get her to tell you the story about how she healed her ulcers with cayenne pepper. But my husband's fight with diabetes was not just his fight. That was our fight. I was jumping in head first with him. So we were trying to figure out what is the best diet. Now, I've tried keto and all these other crazy diets over the years, and I decided, keto made me sick. Keto put me in the hospital. So I knew that wasn't for me. And that's the thing. You have to know your body to know what's for you. Now, I felt like carnivore would be great for my husband. Healthy meats, healthy fats. That's carnivore. So make sure you do your research in the carnivore. Healthy meats, healthy fats, and that's what we did for a few weeks. And then I started incorporating. You could drink it 3 times a day. The cayenne. I started incorporating seeds. Beans and lentils. Keto. You put your mom in the hospital too. Yeah, keto can be dangerous for some people. Some people it can be great. Like I do great intermittent fasting. Bobby feel like he about to starve to death when he try to fast. So I started incorporating beans. So we ate taco soup, y'all. We ate taco soup for about 3 months. Meanwhile, and I knew we would not eat bread or desserts or different things for the rest of our life. I mean, it's just how we were gonna do it. So we watched Bobby's blood sugar. It took a few weeks for his blood sugar to start coming back down to normal. And I remember one night he wanted ice cream, and I said, if your blood sugar is lower than, I think I told him like 110 or something, I said, you can have ice cream. And I knew he wasn't going to get ice cream that night. I said, he didn't get no ice cream because I know his blood sugar ain't. It take time. That's that being patient and being consistent. Okay. So, here we go. I said, I check your blood sugar and it's below like 110, you can have ice cream. And he gave me his finger. And I said, I'm sure it ain't. Like we had just eaten and everything. Checked his blood sugar. It was 93. And I said, hey, Sandra, thank you so much. It was 93. So I got up and got his ice cream. Like no questions asked because that's good. Now, starting to incorporate things back in your diet after that carnivore is like a hard reset. That carnivore is a hard reset. Hey, Nick. Now we hadn't planned to be carnivore forever. We hadn't planned to eat beans and meat forever. We wanted to. My husband loves snacks, cookies, cakes, pies, things like that. But the thing was, how do we incorporate this back into life safely? So we did our research. Something like the wheat. Now, a lot of people say sugar and all this other stuff. Sugar is not our worst enemy. I say it all the time. Sugar is not our worst enemy. Wheat is we eat more wheat than anything. I use sugar or honey when I'm making bread and different things to get it to rise, but wheat, this hybridized wheat is terrible. And that is the cause of a lot of our high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, eczema, cancer, all these issues we go through, that wheat. So we did our research into, okay, what should we totally omit out of our diet forever, and how do we safely replace it? My husband loved rice. What are we going to do about this? So, because even though we got his blood sugar levels down, doesn't mean go back and eat exactly what you were doing the same at first. So figure out what's going to work for you and stick with it. We definitely had to get rid of wheat. I threw away so much flour in here, it was crazy. We would buy flour about a 25-pound bags because I was making 2-3 loaves of bread every week for my husband. Cakes, pies, whatever I wanted to make, I was gonna make it homemade because I thought that was better. But actually, it was the flour. The flour is terrible for our system. So we switched over to ancient grains. This way you see us grinding our own flour and doing different things. When it comes to rice, we cut rice out. And, well, we didn't cut rice out. We did cut rice out until we found a rice that would not spike the glucose, which was black rice. So when we want rice, we eat black rice. So it's so many things you can do to improve or to fix your high blood pressure yourself. Diet is everything. Nala just had to let y'all know she's drinking water. Diet is everything. The products that we use, when you go to the grocery store, those labels are a total joke. They don't put certain things on the labels. They don't have to. The United States allow them to poison us all the time. When you grow and raise your own food, that is the only way you'll know exactly what it went through. Find you a trusted farmer, a local butcher, where you can purchase your products to feed your family. Learn how to make things. Let me tell y'all, prices are about to be ridiculous. And it's scary because we don't want to see man, woman, nor a child starving or not being able to have, okay, garden would take food, water, and whatever they need, because our food is our medicine. Because the prices are so high. This, like now, y'all see what's going on. This should be your biggest warning to grow and raise your own food as much as you can. If you live in an apartment, we understand. Get you some buckets, 5-gallon buckets. You can grow some things. Get you some pots. Set them around. Grow your own groceries, because don't go in that store. Look, when I see egg prices, I'm like, this is crazy. It's time for us to replace our girls after so many years, they'll start laying less eggs. So it's time to get new chickens. We're going to walk y'all through that whole process. We're going to walk you through the whole process of growing your own groceries. It is so important to know this now. You have to know this. What's your opinion on intermittent fasting? So intermittent fasting, my body loves intermittent fasting. It responds really, really, really well to that. The bad thing is I will get to the point where I forget all day to eat. So what I'll do is, for me, I will set my time to eat. And you have to do this according to your schedule. I had this talk with my sister-in-law because she worked at the post office and she needed to be able to eat, basically through her hours at work. So when she come home, she finished eating, all she had to do was shower and go to bed. With me, I'm home all day, but I set my times from like noon to 5 p.m. I'll only eat between noon and 5 p.m. But at noon, I would forget to eat because I'm not hungry. After day 1 or 2 of I'm about to starve to death, you'll get to the point where you're like, oh, did I eat anything today? But then you have to make yourself eat by 5 so you can be done eating for the day. My body absolutely loves the fasting process. But you have to know your body. Like we take cayenne once a day and it worked for us. You might need it 3 times a day to work for you. Um, Hibiscus may not work as good for you. You know, so you got to know your body. Keto may work good for you. Carnivore may be your best decision. Plant-based may be your way to go. You just have to know you. Um, when we talk about these things, we just telling you what has worked for us, and other people are sharing their stories. So check out the hey Mara A, thank you. We appreciate you. Check out the chat because people are giving their testimonies and telling their stories of how things worked for them or whatever. I will never tell you you should do plant-based and it will do this, that, and the third because I don't know your body. You know your body and you have to listen to your body. Now, like my husband and my husband, like I said, adamant weightlifter, he would call and say, babe, fix me a pot of rice. I would fix him rice. He would come home and that's what he would eat, a bowl of rice. We felt like he needed his carbs. And I needed to cut back on the carbs because I'm always talking about how fluffy I am and I want to lose weight or whatever. And it's like, well, cut back on the carbs. Well, I cut carbs out and made myself really sick. So now we know, now that we have tried carnivore, which our body responds to great, we know, but I did not cut out carbs totally. What I did was I cut back tremendously on carbs. So my husband, I don't know when the last time my husband ate a white potato. He'll eat sweet potatoes, white rice. We'll eat brown rice. I mean, we don't even eat brown rice. We eat black rice. And his body is responding great to that. My body, I need those little bit of carbs. I was able to cut back tremendously, but I still eat potatoes, but not as much as I used to. Rice, I don't even bother. When we eat, I made lasagna yesterday. I don't know what I did with the noodles. We eat chickpea noodles. You can use ancient grains to make your own noodles, but we use chickpea noodles. You want to stay away from wheat, period. You want to stay away from the wheat that we purchase when we go to Walmart or different stores. I was meaning to get video while I was in Brighter Day yesterday of the flour that they offer. And when you go in a grocery store, you can get King Arthur, and I thought I was doing something when I was buying White Lily and King Arthur and all this stuff. No particular brand of black rice. I thought I was making a better choice for my family by buying these better quality of flour. Well, the flour has no nutrients in it at all. It's absolutely tasteless. And it's bad for us. It's man-made. So we dropped all the flour and we purchased one. You can do you can start with a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. You can use as much as you want. You can use a whole teaspoon or a tablespoon if you like. But we always tell people start with a 1/4 teaspoon just so you can get the gist of it. Switching over to an ancient grain, we thought, okay, we switch over to an ancient grain. This is God's wheat. It is what is intended for us. This is why people have gluten allergies and all this stuff because of the hibernized. So if you switch to an ancient grain such as kamut, and you can buy kamut pasta, you can buy ancient grain flour already grinded. We get our flour in berry form and we grind it ourselves. What we didn't realize was how tasteful this flour would be. It's amazing. And we treat this flour just like we did store-bought flour. We would make pies, pie crusts, cakes, cookies, brownies. If we want to fry something, that's our flour. Pasta, bread, whatever. Just like regular flour. Now the difference, we use einkorn more than anything. Einkorn is funny to work with. You just got to take your time and judge your texture to what you got going on. Depending on your climate, you might need more or less water. You just got to be careful adding more flour because it will dry up quick. It's slow to absorb water. So if you just keep feeding it a bunch of flour and mixing it, eventually it'll be real dry. So when it's wet and sticky, you give it a few minutes, let it sit for about 10 minutes to absorb that moisture, and then check it and see. It's usually pretty good, but it's always sticky to work with. It's not that flour that you can knead for 10 minutes and all that, but it is really, really good. Really good. So definitely look into ancient grains. They can change your entire life. If you have gluten allergies, if you have eczema, if you have asthma, bronchitis, high blood pressure, cancer, all this stuff, we feed it. We feed it wrong. So cayenne pepper, always do your research because I am not a doctor. Um, we plan. This is what we plan to do for the rest of our lives. Now, herbs are medicine. When no, when you go to the doctor and they put you on high blood pressure medicine, this is your medicine for the rest of your life. I say the devil is a liar. Now that I know better. So yeah, let me tell you, banana nut muffins. Actually, my best friend was talking yesterday about a healthy muffin or scone or something. She said, I don't know, I want you to formulate a recipe for me for a healthy muffin or scone. She said, I gotta have my carbs. I love carbs. And she a tiny little thing. She said, but I want something healthier and better for me. And I said, oh, I got you. So I'm gonna make her some muffins. I might make some for Bobby today, and then I'll make some next week for her. But you would love that because the taste of the einkorn itself, oh, it's so good. You don't have to, when you fry chicken or something, you have to season the flour. You don't have to do that with einkorn. No, why you turning that up? Why you got that? No. She like, Chad, man, your business. So, recap, high blood pressure. Definitely check your diet. If you're using seasoned packaged I don't even have any. If you are using packaged seasonings, you want to get away from that. In those packaged seasonings, they have anti-caking agents and different things that will spike your blood pressure. It's bad for us. That's what all this stuff is making us sick. Grow your own onion. Grow your own pepper. Grow your own garlic. You can dehydrate, stick them in the oven when you grow them, or buy the bulbs. And I always say be careful with that too, because they say organic, but they play with us. No, cayenne and chili pepper are two different things. So definitely be careful. You go to a farmer's, is it a farmer's market? Not a farmer's market, a flea market or something. And you see a bunch of pepper. The Hispanics, they sell a bunch of pepper, but it's 9 times out of 10 chili pepper and not cayenne. I'm gonna see what the weather like Saturday. We might run to the flea market, to where they have the farmers market portion, and show you, so you can see that they have a lot of chili pepper, which is not cayenne. So, but I saw cayenne powder. No, I saw cayenne pepper seeds at Walmart the other day. Walmart. So no, so what I'm saying is, when you go to the store and you buy the seasonings, all these different mixes, especially in the package, they have an anti-caking agent that will shoot your blood pressure up out the roof. Morton salt, all that stuff you want to stay away from. So if you have to buy your seasonings, just get garlic powder or onion powder. Don't get garlic salt and garlic or onion salt. And my mother-in-law was looking for that the other day, and I'm like, no. She said she was looking for onion salt. I said, no, you looking for onion powder. It's a big one right here, onion powder. And then you add your salt to it. Now, Redmond's does make seasonings with their salt in it, and it's just this. No anti-caking agent. Now, we grow our garlic and freeze dry it and powder it. That way we don't have to worry about all that extra crap. But you definitely want to be careful with your seasonings and what you're putting on your food. Um, you can take, so the thing with, and I'm glad you asked that question. Can I take cayenne pepper with blood pressure medicine? You can. The thing with the blood pressure medicine is designed to do exactly what they gave it to you for. Drop your blood pressure. Cayenne pepper is a service herb. God didn't put anything here to hurt us, So the cayenne won't hurt you, but what it will say is, well, if the medicine dropped your blood pressure, and some medicines won't drop your blood pressure, this is why you stay on it, because it's up and down. Now, if you take your medicine and it drop it a little bit and your blood pressure is still elevated, you take cayenne gonna say, wait, we need to work on this blood pressure. If your medicine drop your blood pressure and the cayenne, and you take cayenne and your blood pressure is normal or great, and you take your cayenne, it may say, wait a minute, she got a bleed right here, let me heal that. Or you need energy, let me give you some energy. Or it's some inflammation here, or she hurting, or she got some pain somewhere, let me go and work on that. Cayenne is a service herb. Our herbs are here to serve us. Again, your medicine will do exactly what it's designed to do. The cayenne pepper will come in and service what need to be done. I use einkorn flour for sourdough, cinnamon rolls, cornbread, bacon, and more, along with Redmond's real salt. Just purchased my second bag. I'm telling you, that stuff is good. Yeah, some medicines don't drop your blood pressure, but what it do is it tear your kidneys up. It's just eating you up on the inside. It's just eating you up. And then in 15, 20 years, after they finish adding meds, it's like, oh, you got high blood pressure. Oh, you see something going on with your kidneys. Oh, I don't know, something is still going on with your kidneys. Oh, I see your cholesterol is high. They just add medicine to you. And then in 15 years, they say, oh, I'm so sorry to tell you, it looked like we're going to have to start you on dialysis because, I don't know, something is going on with you. Yeah, all that dang old medicine you done pumped in me. I'm telling you, give it to God. Trust those herbs, and heal yourself. About to use the link for Redmond. Let me tell y'all, Redmond is amazing. That we got salt licks. These things are healthy for us, the animals. But this salt rock came directly from Redmond's mine, the salt mines. We went into it and went down in the cave, and we came home with salt. And this is the exact same thing. The only difference is the size of the crystals. We can grind this down to powder. This is fine. You can get kosher. They have the best. That is the only seasoned salt we use is Redmond, or we just make our own seasoning. So that is how you heal yourself from high blood pressure. No two people are the same, so it's important for you to pay attention to yourself, do your research, and see what worked for you. Share that with your family and say, hey, look, my blood pressure is better. Now, we don't look for an overnight fix because we didn't get here overnight. 3 things: trusting God, being consistent, and being patient. You can heal yourself. No, this salt will not spike your blood pressure at all. We take this every day. Actually, we make Soleil water to stay hydrated. You see that? I just shook it up some. That's salt. This will settle and it'll be clear. We put a little bit of that in our water every day. About a tablespoon of Soleil water. So look into the benefits of Soleil water. It's just salt water. We need salt. This will not spike your blood pressure. If anything, it'll make it better. I was listening to a seminar of Barbara O'Neill. If y'all can catch her in the United States, I think she's here for the next 8 months, 9 months, something like that. If you can catch one of her seminars, definitely go to one. But she talked about a doctor that would diagnose people with high blood pressure and put them on salt. Of course, she say Celtic salt, but we refused to use Celtic because we wasn't sure of where it was being processed or how they harvesting this or whatever. So, you know, we try to stick with as much stuff in the United States as we can. We know Redmond's is mined, harvested, packaged, and everything right here in the United States, and not being shipped from multiple different places in the world. Better when I talk to you and remind you of things. We need that, you know. Community is important. We need each other. We need each other more now than ever. We need to teach each other the simple things we know. And sometimes you look at these things and you say, "Oh my goodness, that's a lot of work." Once you start doing it, it's like I love doing what I do for our family because I know my heart is offering a better quality of things for my family's health. So I love what I do, and it's fun learning these things. So when I make this water, and I'll drop the video again, I put about, what is this? 100 milliliters of, it's about a half a cup. About a half a cup of salt, Redmond real salt. Right. Yeah. So I put about a half a cup of Redmond real salt in here. And then I'll fill it the rest of the way with water. And I use, you can use spring water. Celtic salt. Yeah, so we stopped using Celtic or Celtic salt because it said that it's coming from North Carolina. And that kind of confused me because I was like, is it a salt mine in North Carolina? How is Celtic coming from North Carolina? And somebody else said, well, my Celtic came from somewhere else overseas. And that kind of made me pause. So we stopped using Celtic. And yeah, she sourced it outside of the United States. I think she got 2 companies in Hawaii, and then everywhere else is like Italy or wherever else. But I just rather get it where I know that it's coming from the United States and it's not going through no process. Not saying there's anything wrong with the Celtic. I'm just not too sure, and it's being sourced outside. So I put a half a cup of Redmond real salt in this jar. Then I'll fill it with water. You can use spring water, filtered water, well water. Fill it with water and you let it sit. Mix it good. Let it sit for 24 hours. In the morning when you wake up, it should be clear, but it should be pink down here at the bottom. You can see all the salt. That means this water has taken up all of the minerals and the nutrients that it could take from that salt. So you take about a teaspoon to a cup of water. So if you're using like 8 to 16 ounces, I would use a teaspoon. We don't measure it much now. We just pour a little bit in our cups because we've been doing it so long. And you want to drink that throughout the day. So what this will do, the Soleil do, is it help instead people have issues with swollen ankles or water pooling or running to the bathroom when you drink water. This will help the cells uptake the water instead of you running to the bathroom or it pooling or it's going somewhere it doesn't have any business going. This will hydrate the body and the cells will be full and happy. That can help your skin. That can help with your digestion. It can help with your high blood pressure, cholesterol, your memory, so many things. So look into Soleil water. Again, there's a full video on that. So high blood pressure. Y'all should kick high blood pressure's tail. You can do it. You are a self-healing machine. You just have to give the body the right conditions. Don't look to just take herbs and eat messy. You have to clean it up. You know, that all eating messy, that's what you feeding the body. That's what you feeding the high blood pressure and all these other ailments. You have the ability to heal yourself from anything. Yes, it can help with pre-diabetes also, which is, like I said, it's all diet. It's all about the diet. Wednesday we will talk about maybe diabetes. I might wait till my husband home because I like when he tell his story. You know, when it come to diabetes, that's his story, but that was our fight because we in the same house together, and you know, what better way than to try to get through something than have your support system right there with you, not looking like I know she ain't over there eating pizza and I'm sitting here going crazy. So know that your body can heal itself. You just have to give it the right conditions. So again, breast cancer 35-year-old working on naturally. Good. You got this. You got this. It's work, but it's so rewarding because your body will start to respond and say, hey, now you got it. Now you got it. So y'all have an amazing day. Again, don't forget to hit that thumbs up for us. We would appreciate that. And we will be back on Wednesday where we talk about something else, self-healing, because you know the body has the ability to heal itself. We just got to give it the right condition, right? So y'all have an amazing day, and don't let nobody steal your joy.